Welcome to the Supercar Connection podcast. Find us on social at Supercar Connection, and full episodes drop Mondays on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Like, comment, subscribe, send us to a fellow car lover. We appreciate all of your support. I'm Gavin, this is my boy Joe, and we're here to talk about cars.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Supercar Connection podcast. As you can see, same background, different vibes. We're back. Gavin, what do you want to segue into? You want to give the people what they're expecting, or do you want to go in a completely different direction with this?
I want to give the people what they're expecting.
There it is.
The leave off of last week. If you haven't seen last week's episode, I would probably recommend to go and listen to it, where we rant on the Huracan for nearly an hour.
Definitely, because this can almost be like almost like an extension part 2 type vibe to that predecessor episode.
Like last week's episode was basically like a to be continued episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like we drove this Huracan all weekend, and then we sat down and talked for an hour about it, because there's that much to talk about with this car. Like, it's just that ridiculous.
Literally.
And there's more kind of questions, topics that I wanted to get into regarding the Huracan that we didn't even get to go into, because I didn't want to have an hour and a half episode. So yeah, we can just jump into that.
Let's hit it.
I'm good with that. Hopefully you're still here for the Huracan content.
Absolutely.
We're Lambo fiends around here.
And you can tell Gavin's enthusiasm is through the roof.
It's still here. I'm still feeling the steam of it.
Literally.
So let's see. Really, the biggest question that I wanted to kind of like go into more was when we were up on Angela's Crest, because we went up Angela's Crest. Yeah, that's a different vibe.
Completely.
Now we're talking about the cars just driving.
Sure.
And obviously that car is still so much fun up in the Crest. It's probably not the best canyon car, but that's not what that car was necessarily designed to do.
Necessarily designed.
Very
Correct.
capable.
Correct.
It's more capable than I am driver.
I feel you on that one.
So there's that. Like, I can't really max it out anyway. I could take it off the side of a cliff probably
Very easily.
if I was a dummy.
Yeah.
There's lots of dummies out there.
Lots of dummies out there. Lots.
But I think what was cool was I got to drive your Ferrari again. And the last time I drove it, it was kind of just like the first, like, it was a dip your toe into the supercar experience. That was the first supercar I drove. I took it down. I got to rip through the gears. And it was kind of like a down and back lap.
Yeah.
I was in the car for a couple minutes.
A lot of people, there's cars coming in and out.
Yeah.
Trying to shoot different things. You don't focus. You don't get to have the same like locked in experience as this time around.
It wasn't totally the vibe. And this time, getting to actually drive it up on the Crest, where I think that car really shines, is what it felt like to me.
Excels. Excels.
So being able to do that back to back, you drove the 458 up and the Huracan down,
right?
And I drove the Huracan up and the 458 down. So I remember you getting out of your car and going, man, this thing is incredible.
This thing's a beast.
Yeah, you were like, I was really like getting on it, and like this thing, you had a lot of appreciation for the 458.
Absolutely.
And then you got into the Huracan, and at the end of that drive, you were like,
we get down to the base of the hill.
You were like, okay, maybe this thing is whatever.
I was like, that time machine that you're in can just, I don't even care about it anymore.
And I almost felt the other way around, which is why I told you, I think the better car is whichever one you drove last.
It really is. It really is.
Because I don't know what, so Crest comparison. Let's talk about Crest comparison specifically.
Raw Crest comparison between a 2010 Ferrari 458 and a 2020 Evo.
Because last week's episode, we talked about really more like the ownership experience, like the getting an Evo, itself. Yeah, like the car, like from the perspective of like, what car do I want to own?
Correct.
As a full package. I think the Huracan is a much more fuller package.
Correct.
But would you still, if it was just for simply the Crest, you still like the Huracan more, you think?
To be honest with you, okay, if we're going to go specifically into Crest specifics, I think I would take my Ferrari.
Which the Crest is the canyons. There's the mountains up
Hollywood Hills, Bel Air,
behind Los Angeles, like up behind La Cañada, Flint Ridge. We've got a whole mountain range, all that stuff. And there's a very famous road, Los Angeles Crest Highway, that runs through the mountains. There's people driving up there all the time. I've seen Porsche GT,
If you got a
whatever.
bag Toyota Camry, you probably spend your time up there. You got a bag boosted Civic.
I've seen lots of bag boosted stuff.
PSI, then you might be up there.
I've seen lots of very nice things. I've seen Siennas
Yeah.
up there. I've seen GT, whatever.
If you live in Palmdale, you probably spend a lot of time up there.
So the Crest is for driving the canyons. Lots of twists, lots of turns, some
Yeah.
straightaways to gas it on. It's a great time.
It's
But-
insane.
That's driving experience. So like that's kind of like what I wanted to. That was the topic I didn't get to go into last
Yeah,
episode.
100%. And this is a whole broad topic because you can get
Yes.
very detailed specifics.
And it's very different. And we can get into some of the details. So maybe we don't have to go like crazy on the details, but
Right.
like, yeah, more specific to the actual driving experience. I have some like memorable thoughts about the 458 that really kind of surprised me.
Let me tell you. So to be very simple and to put it very easily, I would pick my Ferrari if it was all Crest specifics. Like if I had to pick a car to take to the Crest, it would be my Ferrari.
Think so?
Because absolutely. Because like I was saying, if you guys go back and watch the last episode, one of the things that I highlight very specifically is the combo that the Lambo has being very raw, but very plug and play. Versus the Ferrari gives you a lot more raw driving experience. Now, ownership wise, that's not something that's extremely ideal.
Right.
But Crest specifics, you want a car that gives you a little more raw, where when you get into it, you're in control. You're the one that's control. Now, you got to remember, guys, remember too, if you guys don't remember, the Ferrari 458 revs and it redlines to 9,000 RPMs.
in a naturally aspirated flat plane crank V8.
That alone makes it an insane Crest car. When you're able to apex, coming out of a turn, apex a turn and hit it and just give it gas and know that you're going all the way to 9,000 and then shift again, you can get up crazy. Like you're living, now correct me if I'm wrong, you're in the Ferrari, you're living in third gear. You're coming down to second, then going up third. You rarely even need fourth gear at that point.
Right. You have to have a real straightaway to hit fourth
gear in that
up on
car.
the Crest.
Versus in the Lambo, I think I was in fourth. I was tearing between third and fourth majority of the time, except when we make really crazy turns or just because I wanted to really give it a nice downshift. And we're talking downshift up to like 7,000, 7,500 RPMs, which you really don't even need to do that.
But it'll give it to you.
It'll give it to you.
It'll give it to you.
But I was living
which
in
is
like,
awesome.
Literally, I was living in third and fourth gear in the Crest with the Lambo, but in the Ferrari, I was living in second and third gear.
Yeah.
And they're both 7 speeds.
Right.
So, but that Ferrari, I think that extra like 7,000 or 700 RPMs that it has makes it completely different. And to be a little nostalgic, the sound. The Lambo sound and the Ferrari sound are both extremely unique. But something about the Ferrari sound and the Crest and with the way that it echoes through the...
It's a cleaner sound.
It's a more refined sound.
It is.
It's a little more like a higher pitched tune, but like the Lambo is more like a bark where it's like, yo, I'm here. Versus the Ferrari is like, you see me.
They
I
both
don't have to
sound
say
amazing.
anything. You see me. I'm passing
They
through.
both sound amazing.
They do both sound amazing.
But no, you're right. That higher pitched up in the Crest is amazing.
What would you take if you had to pick between the two?
Just for the Crest, I'd probably lean Ferrari as well.
What do you know?
Yeah.
The Lambo boy picks Ferrari.
I mean, just for the Crest.
Oh, okay. My bad.
What really impressed, like the steering on the 458 kind of blew me away.
The steering, really?
The steering
The
is
handle.
unbelievable. Yeah. The Huracan has it's got a pretty tight wheel.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily correlate to the actual like steering, but as far as like the effort that it takes to turn the wheel, it's wound a lot tighter.
Correct.
And the Ferrari takes no effort. Like the steering wheel is very light. It makes the whole car feel kind of light. And when you turn it, the way that the car responds is so direct.
Extremely good.
So direct. And the Huracan doesn't quite have that directness to it.
Even like, these are like small things that I even noticed when we were driving. You remember a lot of the times we had to go like in turnouts and like make U-turns and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You notice how like I slow down and I just kind of like give it one crank and next thing you know, the Ferrari would just spin around and almost get into the next lane. These are 1-lane highways.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of room. And the Lambo does the same thing, but it's almost kind of like a lot more bulkier movement.
Yeah, it feels bigger.
It feels bigger. It feels more
bigger
bulky versus
overall.
the Ferrari is just like, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, I'm here, I'm down, let's roll.
The Ferrari feels very light on its toes. The rev through 9,000 is amazing,
Incredible.
especially up there.
Incredible.
There's the sound. And it's just like, I just felt so much more confident in the Ferrari, even though I had driven the Huracan for like quite a bit leading up to the Crest run.
Yeah.
I was still more comfortable in the Ferrari, having not driven it for 2 hours.
And had not driven it for a while too.
Yeah,
you had driven the last time you drove. I mean, you do.
And when I did drive it, it was like, I didn't really like learn much about the car.
You didn't drive the car.
It was just
you took a spin in the
It
car.
was a quick experience.
Yeah, no, the Lambo, you got to drive the car.
Right. I got comfortable with the Lambo, but then up in the crest, like I still like it was an easy car to kind of push. It was like somewhat confidence inspiring, all that stuff. But the Ferrari, when I got in it and I was driving, I was like, okay, this is easy.
Extremely.
on
It's like
these
drinking a
turns.
glass of water.
Yeah.
Telling you.
It's like it has you, it's like, hey, trust me, I've
Look,
got this turn.
Let me tell you,
You're
bro.
all good.
Enzo, he knows how to make a car.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I know he probably not specifically designed for a blah, 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 but he knows how to make a damn car.
Cars are so light on his toes.
I'm telling you, man. So then it goes into the whole discussion. It's like, what would you pick, man? Ferrari, Lamborghini. It's like, they're both so hand in hand. They have one car has so many aspects that are positive. The other one has so many aspects that are positive. It's like, why can't I just have them all? Is that the wrong thing to say? Am I crazy to be like, I want a Huracan and I want to keep my 458
Well, so
and I want a 48?
remember our thing,
Pista?
we said this before, probably more than once, whenever we do like car picking or whatever, 2 supercars, because you need one for stunting, one for driving.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. The Huracan,
Still such a joyous to pick too.
and that's why the Huracan is so great, is because the Huracan kind of fills both voids or both questions.
Yeah, it does.
It fills both the best.
Correct. I agree. That I can 100% agree with.
The Huracan is great for stunting and for driving. And that's why, like last episode, we agreed it's a full package car. Kind of
Number
tough
one.
to beat right now. It's like, and there's a lot of cars I haven't driven yet, so there's that. But just like from being in a McLaren, being a Ferrari, being a Lamborghini now, that Huracan accessibility with everything, it's beautiful.
Second to none.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So
Now, what I would love to, again, we're talking about a 2010 Ferrari versus a 2020 Lambo. Okay, you're talking about a 10-year difference. The fact that we can even have this conversation and talk about some of the similarities and how the cars are, think about that.
it's impressive.
Now it's kind of like the same thing. I have not had the privilege of driving an F8 yet, or the new current model Ferraris, or at least what would compete against the Evo.
Right.
I'm dying to drive one.
But
Dude.
everyone when the 488 came out was like, this is a fail.
Yeah, because this like the 458 is so much better.
So it was like a newer version, but and even still, like now 458 prices are now climbing. Even while other stuff, COVID wise, has started to fall down, like
A
the
lot
car
of stuff is starting
market.
to fall down. A
car market
lot of stuff is starting to fall down.
We're going to talk about that, are we not?
Yeah, 100% we are.
That like the rest of the market is really falling, but the 458 is holding strong, and it seems like it's still even trending up because of the just kind of legendary nature of that car.
Yeah, 100%. It's the last naturally aspirated V8 that Ferrari will ever make.
Most likely.
Most likely. I mean, yeah, of course.
I mean-
nothing can be 100% certain, but as of now, I know they're planning to not make
Very
something
unlikely
replicated.
that they ever do again.
But then again, they're Ferrari, so they'll do whatever they want. If they realize that there's these next wave, because that's the whole thing. We're going into a test phase, a lot of these new cars.
We're talking about a company that put a naturally aspirated V12 in an SUV in 2023.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing whatever they want. They don't play by their. I'm telling you, Ferrari does not play by the rules.
We
They
can't
do
rule
whatever
them
they want.
Yeah.
So you go into this whole era of like, you look at Lamborghini right now, and the fact that they're no longer making Huracans, they're going to redesign that car. Revuelto's already begun production. It's going to a whole different system, this whole hybrid system. I imagine Ferrari is going to continue that trend like they have been. But the second that they go, this isn't selling or people don't like it as much as they do, they can easily go, okay, well, out of our portfolio, what worked the best? And in my opinion, they'll see the 458, arguably probably the design plus the way that it drives everything in between is one of their most successful models. They might just replicate it and go, all right, let's put a modern spin on it.
Yeah.
But then again, too, I think that car specifically will hold its value. And like you said, trending upwards, I think it will continue to trend upwards until the day they make something similar, which I don't
think so,
in my
too.
opinion, won't happen.
I think that car will be really kind of like the ultimate Ferrari collector car for like the modern era.
Yeah.
When it comes down, outside of the special editions, for like the mainstream models that people will chase down in the future, it will be the 458
I think
because
so.
it's the perfect combination of everything
It is
for for where Ferrari is and where they're headed.
for the Ferrari fanatic,
Yeah,
the person who's a Ferrari fanatic.
of course.
'Cause
But
again,
even outside of Ferrari, I think people will kind of chase down that car.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's a special car.
Telling you. And then this is again, it's kind of hard because one of the things that's most difficult to describe about it is like the driving experience. Like we're trying to explain 9,000 RPMs. I don't think people understand like the importance of that.
Yeah.
Getting to 9,000, like just putting your foot on the gas and going. And then, like, for example, Gavin and I drive one of the cars that we both him and I know the best is the C706. Okay. That red line's at what? Like 6,200 RPMs.
Is it that low?
It might be like 6,500 or 6,800 RPMs.
Yeah,
It's not cracking 7.
Yeah.
It's not. So the way that car puts torque down initially and then it closes out so quickly, that car is like shift. The next thing you know, at 100, you're in 4th gear X, Y, Z. That's a completely different design compared to the Ferrari. When you put your pedal down and you literally are going and like you get to 6,000, 7,000 RPMs and you're like, I still have 2 Gs more RPMs in this gear left. That's the part that a lot of people have yet to experience. And I hope one day everyone can experience that because that's truly what makes the car so special.
Riding on a high rev gear is a special experience.
Unreal.
It is.
Unreal.
My car redlines at 6,500. It's not the same.
6,500 on the Alpha?
Yeah. It's a little turbo engine. So I rip through the gears pretty quick.
Damn turbies, man.
Yeah.
Turbos and superchargers, man. Keep everything naturally aspirated and let's go to the moon.
High revving, baby.
Like, what's the LFA?
9,000.
Is it 9,000?
It's 9,000.
What's the one that's like 11,000?
That's like the Singer DLS, the Williams racing
Bullshit. It's
engine.
bullshit. Some bullshit.
The Singer DLS.
Some bullshit.
I mean, it's still like.
Or like the new hypercar, like the Apollo.
But you're talking about regular cars?
Yeah. Isn't there one that does just over like 10,000 RPMs? A Lexus or my chicken?
Nothing I know of. I thought the LFA did 10,000, but it doesn't. It does 9,000.
9,000?
Yeah.
So it's the same shit.
Yeah, pretty
So it's either get a Toyota 9,000 RPM or get a Ferrari 9,000 RPM.
right.
Which that Toyota lasts a lot longer though.
Yeah, Yamaha derived.
Yamaha.
Did we talk about this? The Yamaha thing?
We did.
I think
Absolutely.
we did,
The direct correlation, the fact that Yamaha is just like, they're tapped into fucking everything.
Right. Because they got they're making instruments. Yamaha's like, they're like the best piano makers and the best like,
They make jet skis.
yeah, outboard motors.
Outboard
They-
motors.
they lead-
Yeah.
They lead the market for performance, like instruments and outboard motors.
Yeah, literally.
And then they helped design the exhaust system for the LFA to sound the way it does. Like
Which is
they brought in Yamaha to design the acoustics for the exhaust. Imagine putting an aftermarket exhaust on an LFA.
Literally, you're like, they literally brought in some of the best technology in the world. And you're like, I'd rather take it to the shop that's just going to friggin' slap some bullshit on there. And
That
like,
car
this is
probably sounds as good as it's going to sound.
Absolutely.
I would hope.
They'd probably maxed out.
Can we get Yamaha in the mix on more cars?
Yeah, for real. I think like, okay, like we're even in like going back to the last episode, we kind of touched this topic too, but like I think a lot of the automotive brands are trying to realize that it's okay to bring other ideas, other concepts, other walks of life to incorporate into cars because cars are a daily part of everyone's life. People talk about like, one of the things I always talk about, and I always try to tell people try to tell me that, well, cars aren't that important. Why do you like cars? Why are you so obsessed with cars and stuff like that? You spend so much time in a car. Nobody really understands this. You know how people talk about like, oh, make sure you buy a nice bed because at the end of your life, you spend like 1/3 of the time in your bed.
Yeah.
How much time you spend in the damn car, man?
A lot.
A lot.
Might as well enjoy it.
Might as well enjoy it. Might as well have a nice one. Might as well enjoy your
downshift and
time.
go,
Exactly.
pop, pop, pop.
Do you want to wake up and get into an old Ford Camry every day and hate your life? Or do you want to wake up and be like, yeah, I'm getting in a Huracan and I'm going to live my life and how the way I want to live it?
What's it like to downshift to first in that Huracan going like, 30 miles an hour?
It's an experience not only that I cannot explain,
But screams.
how to have an emotional rush of happiness in first gear, knowing that like there's literally so much more to this. It's like, it's unmatched. It's literally unmatched.
I don't think I could downshift to first gear while going like 30 miles an hour still, like coming to a stop, but downshifting that early and not smile. No
Literally.
matter how bad my day is going, if I got in that Huracan and I was driving, I downshifted into first and just I would smile. My day would be that much better.
Literally, it gets to the point too, because like it's loud. And like, for example, let's say you're coming to a stop, like you're in a residential neighborhood, you just got the car warm, you pull out of your driveway, you give it some gas, get it to second gear, you come to a stop sign. You're telling me you're not downshifting the first gear, even though it's 7 a.m. in the residential neighborhood?
I can't.
You're downshifting the first. You're downshifting the first
Maybe
gear.
in an Airbnb.
You're downshifting. You're downshifting that damn gear. You are absolutely downshifting in that car.
Man, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
But
100%.
to recap, the Ferrari surprised me. It really did.
Which honestly, I didn't.
Presses were shiny.
I'm very surprised that it did, because I had a really good feeling that once you drove that Huracan, it was gonna like everything else was gonna fall off pedestals for you.
Well, I mean, in a way, sure.
I mean, like you said, it did.
From an ownership experience, the Huracan still like for sure takes the cake for me. Because like that car, I could get in it, I could drive it anywhere, and I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Right.
The Ferrari, you're like, I don't want to start it up again. Like, it's got to
I've
warm
said
up.
that
Whatever.
millions of times.
You're like counting startups. Like it only has so many, and every
Telling
time
you.
you do it, it's like you're using one.
Telling you, it's like driving an antique almost. You're like, it removes the fun of having the car. And I think, again, I'm complaining about it because it's like we're talking about, it might be one day one of the more valuable Ferraris, which is not a
for
negative.
sure. No,
But I'm driving it now, like I have that in the back of my mind, and I don't drive it like, or I don't treat it like, well, this is a car, let's use it, let's enjoy it. It's why we work so hard. It's like an antique almost. So now I'm like,
it's a bit of an investment.
Do I
Like,
have
it's
to
an
move?
investment I can enjoy.
yeah, do I have to move it? Do I have to turn it on?
It's storing money.
Just let it sit there. I don't want to get it all warm, everything up between.
You want to spec check it?
Let's do it. Let's specker checkers. Do we have spec checks? Log
We
up?
do. Yeah. I
Yes.
got them picked out there. They're gonna be fresh on you.
Let's do it, baby. I love, this is my favorite. When we do spec checks fresh on me, I get the most pure reaction. Because Gavin, like, if you guys, again, you haven't tuned in the last episode, you can see arguably the worst spec check in Supercar Connection history. So now I'm excited to see what Gavin has decided to load up for me on this one. Let's see. You want to explain to me what we're looking at right now?
We're looking at a green, a Bitstore SV.
What kind of green is that, Gavin?
This is Kelly green.
It's not like this camel green. No, no.
This is Kelly green.
This is Kelly green.
This is the green of greens. It's not like your typical Lambo green.
No.
It's not Kermit green though. It's not neon green. This is Kelly green.
What do you think about this?
Silver wheels, and we got like a silver trim on the bottom.
Oh, I didn't even see that silver trim.
Silver trim.
Okay,
Kinda-
well,
kinda
wow.
ties it in,
That
kinda nice.
took me for a really bad spin then, because besides that silver trim, I was actually really liking.
We also have like the body color, like bumper where that's
Yeah.
usually black on the SV.
Let me tell you, I'm a huge fan of that. This whole like new era of like body color matching a lot of the accessory pieces that would normally be trims or blacks and all the other bullshit. Like I saw one that one of the cars more recently was like a triple white, where like almost everything was specced out white, so they even painted like all the gloss black, everything white. I'm honestly becoming more of a fan of it, dude.
I like the body color stuff a lot too.
I'm a huge body color guy.
Like I've seen a couple of the GT3 usually comes with like a black on the front, and I've seen a couple where it's body color matched. It looks so much better.
Telling you, I
It's
think
amazing.
granted, I think every single car with depending on the design could teeter. I think some cars look better with more black accents versus others. But like in
Definitely
general, I
depends.
feel like if you're gonna do something like that and you want to body match some of your accessories, I feel like it's not a bad thing if you have the right color. If you have some bullshit ass color like yellow or some of these weird purples and pinks, stuff like that, don't bother.
No,
please.
you can't
Don't
body.
do
You
it.
can't body color that.
Please don't do that shit, because I will roast you and I will come after you. But if you got like some a lot like cooler greens, blues, whites, blacks, reds, stuff like that, feel free to do it all you want. Feel free to do it because I am here for it.
'Cause even-
Except putting silver trim as rockers. Now you lost your
The
damn.
silver trim as rockers is an interesting call, but even like this back like scoop is
That's
usually
normally
not-
black,
is
correct?
usually like carbon or black. The wing is body color. I like the body color trim too. So outside of the silver, is the silver what puts us over for you?
The silver is really what does it disgustingly. The problem with this car is that for me to say it's not a good spec is really difficult, because we're looking at an Aventador SV. And as anybody who watches this knows, that's probably the two of our most favorite beloved car is this thing. So I think any spec in this car would be insane.
Yeah.
But the silver is
But you don't
really
like
good
this
car.
spec among other options.
100%. This is disgusting amongst other specs.
Remove the silver, and I like this a lot.
Give me black, gloss black, where that silver is, and I'm in.
I haven't really
I'm
seen
in.
like body color, accessories on the SV though, and this is great. That
I'm a
part
huge
of
fan.
this is great. Number 2,
Oh my goodness. God's gift. Now this is God's gift. We have the classic, iconic LaFerrari.
in like orange.
It's like an orangey thing, right?
It
This
is like
almost
an
looks like
orangey thing.
like the red on my Ferrari.
but even
It's almost like an
more.
orangier tint. Because I've had a lot of people come up to me about the color of the car, and people will say like, "Oh, is that really like Ferrari red?" And I'm like, "Well, first off, Ferrari has like 90 different tones of red. So
Lots of them.
lots. Like for people who are uneducated about this topic and stuff like that, Ferrari red. There's a classic Ferrari red that I know people think about when they think of the color Ferrari. They think of the concept Ferrari, the movies, everything in between. But there's like 8 or 10 or 12 different tints of the red that comes out of the factory. Ferrari.
Yours is Rosso Dino.
There it is.
Rosso Dino is it leans orangish.
It does. It has like
It's-
almost like a slight orange
But
tint
it is
to
red. Like it looks red, and then sometimes in certain lighting, you're like, is it kind of orange?
That's the whole point of it, though.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like
That's
Rosio Spaghettini or some crap like that.
Rosso
Whatever.
Dino.
Yeah, whatever it is. Roso spaghetti, Roso meatball, Roso
How about this?
hand motions, whatever that you want to call it. Oh wow,
Orange seats.
orange
The
sheets
orange
to match
color?
too.
Is that
Well-
is that a good call for you?
That's it. See, now here's the thing again. I'm not a big orange guy,
Right.
okay? But we're talking about a LaFerrari, so it's hard for me to really shit on the spec because at the end of the day, this car is insane. Like this, you're showing me the two cars that I think arguably probably be my number one and number two favorite car ever.
But this is spec check.
All right,
not
so then
just-
we got to
not
remove the
just-
car then.
Not just car check. It's spec check.
This is dog shit.
At the end of the
This is
day,
dog
this
shit.
is
This is
an
dog shit.
orange
This
on orange
is dog
LaFerrari.
shit. This is dog shit. If I have to remove the fact that it's LaFerrari, this is absolute dog shit. Why would you get this car and put that color on it, A, and then B, go, I like this color so much. Let me get filled with these eyesores on the seats as
Man, the tune has changed.
well. with me?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm looking at the car and
we
I'm
laid
like,
down
the
the-
car is
We
gorgeous.
laid
but-
down the ground rules, and he's like, "Oh, if we're just talking about specifically the choice that the owner of the car made when they spec this is a horrible
This dude's an
decision."
idiot. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, put his money in my pocket. Let me spec one of these things out. I promise you, I'll do 10 times better.
Look, that is spec check. Spec check is not, man. Well, it's hard for me to say a bad thing about this because it's a LaFerrari. This is a LaFerrari, but someone made it orange on orange. What do you think about that?
I've been playing this game all wrong from the jump. Then I've
From
been
the
doing too
jump.
much appreciation for the cars.
Around 14,
Fuck the
15
cars.
episodes in, and Joe's just
I'm
not
finally
there, the
dialed
real
in.
ethos of
I'm-
spec check.
Ethos. I'm finally dialed in. I love it. Gavin's vocabulary is unmatched.
All right, number 3.
Wow, you came with bangers, Gavin.
You like this one?
See, okay, is that a highlight green I'm seeing?
This is
All right.
Matt Gray. We got like a Matt Nardo. This is a Aventador Ultimate.
It's a really nice car.
And then we've got black lower with some highlight green Verde something. I don't remember which Verde it is, but highlight green calipers and pinstriping. Black roof,
So let me tell you this.
carbon loose.
Again.
Okay, Roadster.
Moving past the vehicle itself, okay, looking at the spec. The color, the body color, the paint, I love. The black trim, the black accessories, I love. Even the subtle touches of green, I love. Where they really fuck it up and it goes wrong for me is the highlight little linear green lines and stuff like that. It makes it look like a freaking toy. Like it looks like it literally makes it look cheap.
Remember the Tron era
Yes, yes.
when everyone
what it
did
looks
Tron
like.
wraps?
Yes.
Man, what a bad era.
It was a
Seven.
terrible era. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? You get like matte black murdered out cars with like white lines through the body lines.
You don't see Tron wraps anymore.
You don't?
That was trend.
Should we bring those back?
No,
Should Gavin and I get
Mhm.
Tron wraps on our cars so we
Maybe.
can bring the trend back?
maybe that would get us followers.
Maybe. Who knows? At this point, we might as well try.
That's what it would take.
But this, in my opinion, this just makes the car look 10 times cheaper. When you put these little weird green lines, it just like, this is something I feel like this color spec is what I picture would be like on a Nissan 370Z. Like when I walk into a Nissan dealership, I expect to see this color combo on that, not on a friggin' Aventador.
Would you do any pinstripe color or no? Just none.
I would either do a black or white.
Black
And
or white?
if I had to go against the body color, it'd be black or white at max. But I'm not throwing in this Verde horse crap that they did on this car. It ruins it. Are you saying you like the pinstriping?
I'm not against the pinstriping.
Here.
I've seen pinstriping that I like. I don't know if I like this color.
Name a pinstriping you've liked.
Give me pearl white with blue pinstripes.
All right,
I
that's.
saw a P1 in that spec. It's one of my favorite P1 specs.
But then again, how much blue is on the car?
It's like
The pinstripe and that's it, or like again like this calipers and pinstripe.
it's calipers, and then it's just like one pinstripe around. You know, like the carbon ground
Yes,
on the P1. It's
Yeah.
like the edge of that all the way around.
it almost separates like the body color to the carbon, like sky certs and everything.
It's a great spec. Maybe that'll be in the next.
In the next picture, you go out
See
and
if we can
find
get
that.
see if we can get you some pinstripes that you like.
You go ahead and like find that specific spec for me. I would really appreciate it.
What about the green on the
I mean, here's the thing: the
black
interior
exterior
I
green?
love
Yeah.
because again,
Just
black,
remove it from the outside. That's it.
that's what I'm saying. Again, black, main monotone interior, but then they add the subtle touches. They're going loud with the color, loud with the calipers, and then they're throwing this loud pinstriping. It just, in my opinion, it ruins it. It ruins what the car was meant to look like and have the imagery of
Well, I'm sorry we couldn't get you anything this week that you
that I liked.
really enjoyed.
It's all right. That's what next week's for. Don't worry about it. We'll try again next week.
We'll try again.
Just don't bring any Porsches on.
We'll try again next week. No Porsches.
No Porsches.
We're getting some Lambos. We got a P1, a white P1 with blue pinstripes coming at you hot.
Good, you're hot.
We'll see what Joe thinks about that. Shout out to Colin again for just being the one guy that sends stuff in. Colin,
Yes.
hope you're listening.
People, please send stuff in. If you guys want, DM us on Instagram.
We're
Hit
going to
us
shout
on-
out Colin until someone else sends us something.
Yes. If you want the next shout out on our episode, be the next person to send us a specific spec that you want us to go after.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I'm down for that.
Market,
Let's talk about it. Well, I think there's a lot of direction going in this damn market.
it's coming down, right? Is it not?
See, that's the thing.
It's kind of like teetering almost. It wants to come down.
It's flirting with coming down. Like, it's kind of like, it's like she's looking at you from across the bar, but like she hasn't decided 100% if she's like, does she want to give you the full attention or does she want to just kind of like pretend like she notices you, but she doesn't notice you? That's what I feel at least. Do you feel like she's looking right at you and she's like, I am going to crash?
I don't know. I guess that answers the question.
Yeah, 100%. In my opinion, what I'm saying, because again, you and I are avid scavengers on the market. I'm always constantly looking at prices, looking for deals, everything in between. I'm noticing a lot of specific models drop, a lot of specific models appreciate, and I'm seeing a lot of standstill. Then again, I feel like there's so many different, like, how do I describe? There's so many different variations of variables that go into it. It's like, it's insane. Like, you have dealers that are holding on to inventory that they know that they can sit on X amount of time and they'll set a price point and they're not playing curtailment, they're flooring it, whatever they're doing. They can sit on these units and they don't have to drop the price.
Yeah.
Versus a lot of other dealerships that are either leveraged, they need to leverage capital, they don't have the same type of capital. Their cars cost them money to sit on the dealership. So they're lowering the price every 30 days, every 30 days, they're lowering the price. So it's partly on that. At the same time, interest rates too, that's going on with the economy. Who knows? If like right now, supposedly interest rates are going to get raised. Supposedly. But then again, if they don't and they start creeping back down, it's going to be cheaper to borrow money, thus making it cheaper to afford monthly payments, which then again, in my opinion, will drive the price of a lot of vehicles, majority of them, back up.
Yeah. The normal car market has come down a lot. Like
The standard everyday
your
person
regular
car
cars.
Yes.
You can go and get a new car
at the
for
dealership.
under sticker again,
At the dealership.
which for a long time was just like, was crazy
Yeah.
what things were going for. I'm sure I'm not super tapped in to like everything in the normal
There's some
car
rarities.
market.
There's a rarities.
I'm sure there's still things, that are going for over, but like for the most part, a lot of just like your normal models, you can go out and get for under sticker again. You're not playing this tough game with dealers where they're just like, nope, 10K over.
Yep.
If not, someone will be here tomorrow and do it.
Yep. You get a Camry salesman that's overweight and he's like, hey, you want this white Camry? I need at least 45 bands over it.
Now they got to work a little harder
Yep. To make the sale.
to get your sale.
Just a little bit though.
Yeah. And like, dealing with dealers can be pretty tricky to say the
Oh my
least.
goodness, man. Shout out to George, man. Shout
Shout out to George.
out.
George is different. Independent dealers can be a lot different than your
100%.
big box dealers.
100%.
Go to Corsa Galleria. George will treat you right. But I know you have quite the method. When this dude when I first found out how he approaches buying cars, and we had this weird encounter. Maybe we kind of talked about that story a while back, but like we didn't get super deep into how you approach buying a car, how you approach dealing with a dealer and dealership salesman.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that. So my question for you,
Lay this out properly so I can explain it to people.
yeah, maybe I don't even exactly know.
I'm going to
the
go
right
full
question.
Alex Jones in a minute.
But if you're going and buying a new car from a dealer, like what's the best strategy to get a better price?
All right. So I'm going to start from the beginning.
Because you play chess.
It is. People say, first things first, before I even get into that, life is a chess match. Okay. You constantly have to be evaluating your situation, looking at your next moves, planning out your next moves, but more importantly, understanding where your opponent sits and where their next moves are in correlation to your current moves and what your plans are. Okay. Take that same mentality when you walk into any large commercial dealership. Okay. Here's the number one aspect of this that majority of people don't understand. But when I explain it, it's going to seem so common sense. It's ridiculous. Okay. For example, Gavin, you're in the market for a family SUV, right? You go to a GM dealership and you're like, oh, I want a new Equinox or I want a Suburban or a Tahoe or whatever, right? The second that you go to the dealership and you step foot on the dealership, you are telling them the main thing. You are in the market for a car, okay? You are at their dealership because you want to buy a car. They know that. They literally are have you in the palm of their hands.
You're at least interested in one of the ones they have.
Exactly. Or else why the hell would you be there? Why would you be wasting your time at any point of the week to go to the dealership to look at models, do this and that? So they already have you in the palm of your hands. Yeah, the palm of their hands, right? On top of that, it's kind of the whole game where, well, this is the price. No, we can't do a certain price. No. The first thing you have to do is flip the script on them, okay? You have to rework it so that at that moment when you walk in, they are in the belief that you need them more than they need you. The first thing you have to do is flip that script on. Make them think that they need you more than you need them, which in all actuality is reality.
Yeah, they need you for that commission check.
Exactly. If he needs to buy his next S-Class and he needs those commission checks to get it, he needs to make sales. And the only way he's going to make sales is by taking advantage of you when you walk into that dealership. So my strategy, and again, what I've always tried to do, and it's the problem is it's a little bit of a more time consuming strategy. But then again, and I always put myself in not desperate positions where I've never been like, I need a car like in a week. I've always been like, all right, I'm starting to look at what I need next. Like, let me start feeling it out. Number one trick that I always do, I look at a car. First thing is whatever model I'm searching for, whatever I want, I tailor it down to the T, to the exact year, make, model, whether it's brand new, slightly used, super used, whatever price point it is, options. I find the car. I find the car that I want. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll go to that dealership. First thing I'll do is I'll walk straight up to whatever salesman, whatever it is, and I'll say, hey, let's look at this car. Starts talking, starts playing his little game with me. Number one thing they do is they want to keep you there longer. The longer you're there, the more tired negotiating you get, the easier that you give in and they get what they want. We're not going to play that game. I give them my price, right? Let's say they want 45 for the car, right? I'll be like, listen, California, you got license, taxing, all the other crap that goes into it. Give me the car for 45 out the gate, right? And they go, well, no, that's extremely low. You're talking discount, blah, 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 fair market. Okay, my friend, thank you. No worries. Boom. You leave, right? The second that you turn around and walk out and they haven't collected your name, any of your contact info, they're done, okay? That salesman will chase you down before you get to the car insanely because he at least needs some contact info.
So he can follow up.
So he can do some cold call following up with you, right? Or else his boss and his sales manager is going to get on him and be like, hey, buddy, why aren't you following up with these people? Okay. That's the first thing. Now, I will always give them that information because then you let them divulge themselves how desperate they want to be, right? I tell them my price. They don't want to agree. Whatever. I'm done. I'm out of there, right? Then you sit. I would say at least a week if you can, but about within a 3 or 4 day period, I guarantee you will get a text message from that salesman. Be like, oh, hey, Gavin, thanks for coming in to whatever dealership I'm working at and looking at this car. If you want to make a good deal, come on in and we'll work something out. Okay. Double tap heart, nothing else. No response, no nothing. You let them sit, you let them stir. Okay. You heart it. I'm not talking about read receipts on. You got to double tap and you like it. Okay.
That message.
Like that message. Let it sit. Okay. Now, if you can let another couple days go by, you let a whole 7-day period, depending on how many times I've had dealerships, even to this day, I have dealerships blowing up my phone because they want me to get back in there because they want to just play the game with me. They want to get me in there because they want to tire me out so that I eventually concede to whatever price they want.
And you're playing a different game.
We're not playing that game. We are not playing that. And you're not going to play that game anymore either. Now, after this, you have 7-day period. Now you have 2 texts from the salesman. You go back in, right? Let's say the guy's name is Frank. Hey, Frank, we're going to make a deal today. Oh yeah, my friend, let's figure it out. We'll do this and that. Okay. Well, is it 45 out the door? Well, no, let's sit down. No. I don't have time. Boom, boom. You threaten to walk out. Then immediately he goes, okay, give me a chance. Let me talk to my sales manager, right? He'll go back. He'll start making his thing.
How long will he be gone for? 30 minutes?
This is technically the first time. So I would say within the first time, it would probably be about an hour, maybe hour and 15.
And here's the thing. I want to interject here.
Please.
On this one part, because this is also a strategy. When they go, hey, let me go talk to my manager. When they're gone for 30 minutes, 1, it wears you out. You're getting tired. Yeah. 2, it's this like mental like impression that they're working hard on your behalf. It gives you, it's like, it's not something they're telling you, but it's just like, human psychology. They're like, oh, they're back in this office with their manager for 45 minutes. He's really fighting for me.
Yep.
He's really making my case to try to bring this price down for me.
This guy had to text him, I had to bring him in. Like, he's here. I got him.
They're talking about the Cowboys game.
They're talking about which parlay just hit.
They are not.
They don't care at all.
They are not talking about
That's
the
the
price
last
of the
thing
car.
they care.
They came up with a price that they were going to offer you in the first 3 minutes that salesman walked in the room. And then they sat there and chatted for 45 minutes about other stuff to make you feel like they're working hard on your behalf. That's why they go back and let you marinate. I just wanted to say that part.
Telling you.
That's the strategy there.
Here's another little tidbit. Now, Gavin even spun this in my head, and I almost forgot about this point, but this is a crucial point now too. And this is going to be a very split stance on this. So a lot of people be with me, a lot of people be against me. But I'm just telling you from my perspective, okay? Do not bring a female with you on this process, okay? And that's a drastic point, I know, okay? But this is the whole thing. If you have a female with you, right? They'll not only attack her in a sense of trying to make her uncomfortable, they know if they can make her uncomfortable, she will directly make you uncomfortable to the point where I'm tired, I don't want to be here, what do we have to do? Then you're more likely to concede. You cannot show any weakness. Do not show that you have no weakness. So that's the little tidbit from Gavin's side. Now they've come back to you after the first hour and 15. They've given you now their second price. They had what it's listed for. Now they're giving you the second price, right? Let's say it's a couple $1,000s off of what in reality you wanted for the car, correct? Now we're like, oh, look, my sales manager really didn't want to do this and that, but I think I might be able to work this down. We can figure it out, but like, this is really what it's at. Okay. Then again, no, sorry, my man. I appreciate the time, but out. You kept me here for an hour. You didn't get my price point. You walk out. If you leave, if you're able to leave, which I really don't think is going to happen, then at that point, then the dealership knows that they have the leverage over you and they can have the car sit there and somebody else will buy it. I guarantee you, if you're there for an hour and 15 minutes, you decline that second car, by the next time that they go back or you guys make a deal, you guys walk away, they will give you the price you want. Because now they have only a week period that you came in, you flirted with buying it, they almost lost you. It took 7 days of following up with you to get you back in the dealership. They messed around with you one time, hour and 15, they can tell you're pissed off, I'm out of here. They know there's no way they're getting you back in the door once you leave. So if they really want to make the sale and they can really make the sale at the price you want, which more than likely is feasible, that's when you're going to get it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, that is probably the overall best strategy to do with commercial dealers, because those are the ones that are the stingiest, because again, they have the number one monopoly on the concept of buying a car where people forget the game. You are walking into their hands. It's literally the simplest thing. Every other sales, every other thing in between, salesmen are going after you. There's cold calling, going to the doors and saying, have you ever seen a car salesman go knock on doors?
You're coming to them.
How many times realtors cold call on doors? Selling houses, Instagram ads, everything in between. Car salesmen do the same Instagram and social media stuff because they want to. But how many like real estate investors, real estate agents leave their cards, go do this, brochure, come here, I'm here on Sunday, I'm networking, I'm doing that? No. If you notice, all car salesmen, they have a specific persona about them, demeanor. They're very laid back. Oh no, yeah, come on in. I'll show you this. We'll talk about this. The whole game is getting you with them because once you're there, the more they can drown you and suck it out of you and suck the life out of you, eventually, because you need a car. And again, a car is a majority of your life, like your frigging bed that you sleep on. They will suck it out of you. And eventually you go, all right, I can afford it. Fine, I'll get it.
Here's the hard truth is that with these car salesmen, they have to make money. And so their goal is going to be to convince you that they're working for you and they're there to help you and get you a good deal. But really, that is not their goal, or else they wouldn't make a living that way. So they don't like people that know how to play the game, all that stuff. They don't want to waste the time. They don't want that time to be wasted. So they'll take their smaller commission, whatever, give you the deal eventually. But at the end of the day, like, they're not working for you. They want to make you think they're working for you, leave you marinating in a room for half an hour. A recent story about this, my dad was looking for a car and went into the dealership and was like, hey, just give me your best price. Like, I don't want to really like mess around. Like, if the price is good, I'll buy the car. We're done. We're out of here. So he's like, okay, well, same thing. Like, he's a really nice guy, liked all this stuff. Goes back to let me talk to my manager. He's gone for like 20, 30 minutes. Comes back, gives him the price under sticker, because that's where we're at today. And he's like, yeah, look, we were able to get you this great deal. Like, this is $5,000 under, whatever. Like, this is a really good deal. Well, my dad's like, all right, well, that's not like good enough for me right now. So he leaves. He goes online, pulls the car up on the dealership's website.
Oh, goodness.
It was the internet price was the same price that they gave him at the dealership. And he was like, dude, you just like wasted 30 minutes of my time. You went back and said you were talking to this guy. You had the price the whole time. The price you gave me is to the dollar, the same price that you have listed online.
You could have told me when I asked you the question.
Yeah. And you said that that's some great deal. Like, if that's the price, all you have to say is, we've actually got it 5,000 off. It's a really great deal. It's a Black Friday or whatever. Like, spin it. But don't just like disappear for 30 minutes. Like, hey, I worked this deal for you. And then it's the same thing that's online. Like, that's the sort of things you're having to deal with. So certain cars, this game works probably better than others. Like,
Absolutely.
if you're going in for something that will sell tomorrow, if not to you, then that might be unfortunate.
And marketing condition as well.
Yeah.
Because again, like back when COVID was happening, everything was skyrocketing. You were at the will of the dealership, whether you liked it or not.
They were like, hey, 10K over. If not you, someone will be here tomorrow.
Yep.
That's
very
simple.
Very easy.
That simple.
Let me throw out a crazy concept.
Sure.
This is for all the car salesmen out there that are listening to this. Okay. If you guys didn't waste so much time making this marinate and you actually made a sale off of rip, do you think there's a chance that if you let's say you leave, every average customer gets 30 minutes of marination. Okay. You get 6, 7 customers. You're talking about 4 hours a day. If you just cut to the chase, you think you can make maybe 3 or 4 more sales in those 4 hours?
Maybe.
Thus putting more money in your pocket?
It's possible.
It might be possible, huh?
Yeah.
Well, then again, who am I and what the hell do I know?
Here's really what everyone needs to do is adopt the Tesla method and just say, hey, this car is $60,000. If you want it, it's $60,000. There's no, I'll give you 58.
Yep.
There's no, I'm marking it up to 62. The price is the price. It's that simple.
Yep. You
So-
can buy it online if you want.
Unfortunately, that's how the dealer method works. Tesla doesn't have dealers, so they don't have haggling. They don't have, hey, I'll do this much, but at the dealer across the street, we'll do that much. Tesla's like, no, we sell the cars. We sell the cars for this much. It would be nice if the OEMs said, you know what? Forget all of this. If you want to sell these cars, you sell them for the sticker price, and then you can make extra money on add-ons if you can convince people to get them. Other than that, the price of the car is the price of the car. Let's stop all this weird game, this chess match. It's just price cars.
That's it, man.
If people don't buy them, you overpriced them. So
That's what it is.
bring the price down.
Let's
It's
do it.
not. It's that simple.
You heard it here first.
Did you want to go into the other market points, like 250? I know you wanted to talk about the 250 mark.
I think we can leave it for next time. Give them something to eat on and just inch onto.
Yeah.
I think that was a good cutting point for us to just,
Can you get a Huracan Evo for 250?
technically you can't.
Can you get one that under 20,000 miles? One that you wouldn't be worried about buying, maybe?
Not a 640,
Okay.
a
But
610.
The rear wheel drive?
Yeah, 610. You can get it. I think I've seen maybe,
I like the
I'm talking
610.
about, like, you can count them on a hand how many you can get around 250. The average price point for a good solid Huracan, whether it's 610 or 640, is right around the 260 to 280 range.
It's funny that some people rip on like the 210 because it's got less power and it's cheaper than the 640.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of people out there that would prefer a rear wheel drive car
Well, 100% there are.
as like a driving experience.
100%.
We talked to George. He was like, no, it's got to have a
rear wheel
rear
drive.
differential.
Yeah, it's 100%. He was like literally he almost killed me the fact that I was like, dude, are you
Yeah.
crazy? And I was,
Oh,
I'm
got to
telling
be
you,
able to slide.
their cult is following, man. I'm telling you, some of these vehicles, some of these people, what they do to these people, it's ridiculous. And again, all-wheel drivers, rear-wheel drive, you don't have that front axle. The car is actually lighter. So I can see the angles, but at the same time, the extra 30 horsepower, I'm taking. So
There's the
You're
rear
crazy.
horsepower, the confidence of the traction, all that
everything in between.
for sure. But if it's a lot more to get it, I would be plenty happy with the
Right.
rear wheel drive setup.
I
Probably have
think,
a lot of fun.
I mean, the cheapest I've seen is some Evo 610s, but they're like 50,000 miles, 60,000 miles, 45,000 miles. They're as low as like 210, 213,
Crazy that that's even possible.
220. Think about it. 200 plus for a 50,000 mile Huracan Evo.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
the
crazy.
big drop right there.
That's like as crazy as paying $450 for an Aventador with 30,000 miles.
I'd still do it though.
I don't think that's selling. That was a couple months ago. I think that market has drastically changed.
That market has drastically dropped.
Yeah.
Dropped. But I think it's a temporary drop.
It maybe so.
Because I think in
The
my
high end stuff has dropped crazy.
well, you got a lot of up and
SF90s,
down movements. Yeah, everything in between.
765 LTs like that. That was that 600 to a million mark that we were at a couple months ago. Like those cars in that range have dropped tremendously,
Tell you, money's harder to borrow. Interest rates.
especially that high, especially that big time money.
If you guys want a car right now, the best time to get one, honestly, in my opinion, might be right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you can buy it cash, you can go in somewhere and tell, hey, I'll pay you all cash at this price. You are more than likely to get a discount now because of the fact that interest rates are so high and they need to move inventory. So if you're in the market for something and you have your eye on it and you can afford to pay it all cash, make it happen.
I would say get the number before you tell them you're paying cash.
100%.
That's important.
Yep.
Get the number written down, get the deal done, because they'll make a kickback on the financing. So if you tell them you're paying cash, they're less likely to give you as good of a deal. So get the deal before you tell them how you're paying. Get the deal.
My man Gavin knows the game, baby. My man Gavin knows the game.
I know a couple moves.
Shout out to Jordan.
You taught me the Queen's Gambit, but I know a couple moves.
I love it.
Yeah, I guess that's it for now.
That's a wrap, baby.
Man, the Huracan just has us talking.
I mean, maybe we'll dabble in the next episode, but I think we might be done with the Huracan for a while.
we might put that one to rest.
Stay tuned next week to see what we talk about. Again, always feel free to hit us up, give us topic ideas, comment, like, subscribe, everything in between. We're here to listen to you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
We're out.